What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Talk to you a little bit about the upcoming project Ricebox, which today that's what we're going to be working on. But first, we need to take all the intake, take the intake off, take the turbo manifold off, turbo off, intercooler out of the way, and plug up a bunch of the holes that will be open while we're chopping up this car. So we'll go ahead and get after that. I'll put you guys on a time lapse and throw on some music, and here we go. Okay, so we got everything covered up now, so we're going to go ahead and start chopping some stuff up. We're going to start right here. We're going to knock all this out, and this out, and we'll do the other side as well, and then we'll find a good spot to chop both sides up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to put you guys through a time lapse on this one, so I'm just going to chop it up and then show you what it looks like afterwards. So here we go. Okay, guys, so I got the front end cut off, and check this out. Yeah, look at all that room for activities. Do all sorts of stuff in there. But I haven't cut off this part, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to chop it off. But as you can see, I do not have it all finished up. This is just kind of a rough cut, and maybe even probably we'll probably end up taking this off, because once we put the tube in and follow this line, because this will give us a nice straight a line to follow to run off of, that way everything sits properly. So when we do put the tubes in, we just run them down, we turn them, and then it turns down, and then we'll have our new tubes down here. So yeah, instead of using this boxy frame anymore forward, it would be tubular. And how I'm going to do it is, I know a lot of guys will just chop it off, run a tube forward, and then maybe run a bar straight across here, or bend it down just like kind of factory is. But I'm going to go ahead and kick it down right there and then forward, and then just run a straight bar at the bottom, so it'll sit low, nice, and make things a little easier to mount. And then I can just kind of run this over and down to that tube, and that should look pretty good. I don't know, I am rambling again. Okay, so I already marked out this side, and I'm going to go ahead and do this side here in a second, but I'm going to show you how I did it, and then I will do it real quick. And I probably set the camera up, and we'll just kind of follow along, and I'll show you how I did it. But as you can see, I use a straight line. I guess you can't see that. There you go. Now we can see it. So I just kind of put this right angle in, and I cleaned up all the grease and debris on here, and I got my straight edge there. And then I did basically the same thing with my other right angle, which is right there, and got my straight edge line, yada yada, and did that. So where I try to cut it, I'm gonna there is a spot right here, as you can see right there. There was a one of these deals in there. I'm not sure what it probably held on the fender well cover, and that gave me a good point, because both sides are in the exact same area. So therefore the front will be exactly the same, and it's just about as close as you want to get to right here, because we got to keep these kind of in, because we will be cutting these out too. I mean, at least part of them. So yeah, so let's go ahead and maybe I'll put it on a time lapse, and it'll be a short time lapse probably, I don't know, or maybe I'll just, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and I'll throw you guys on a little time lapse thing or whatever, and go ahead and knock that side out, and then we get to cut that part out, and then we're totally open. So that'll be fun. So yeah, here we go. Okay, guys. So I started cutting the front end off. It's pretty well off, actually. Um, just got to take off the rest of the front end. This cuts, they're not perfect. I had to do. I took a couple tools to get it done, just because of room wise, and then I ended up with the sawzall at the end with a dull blade, and they didn't cut exactly straight, but it's I can get it corrected when I do put the plates on and whatnot. So it's not like horrible bad by any means. Uh, Now I was gonna cut these off and just take the whole front end off, but I think I'm just gonna unbolt them for now, and then when I do get the tubing in, whenever that shows up, I don't know. But when I do get the tubes in, I'll just run the tubing, and then that'll give me kind of an idea where the tubes are gotta go, or I don't know. Just it. We'll wait to cut this off until we're ready to cut it off. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and then kind of regret doing something. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go ahead and get the rest of this off, and then we can go ahead and we'll put the manifold back on and whatnot, and put the intake and exhaust and turbo back on, and see what it all looks like with it sitting in there, and then probably call it for today until the tubing shows up. If it does not show up later on, you know, I might have to go ahead and start ripping into the interior of the car and start building the cage, or I might do the catch can too. There's that. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get the rest of this front end off, and let's set some cool stuff in, and see what this thing looks like. All right. Alrighty, guys, look at that thing. Holy cow, we got all of it off. I think I might go ahead and just leave those things there, honestly, because it'll make it easier to figure out where I need for the low point, so I could actually run the tubes down, forward, across, and just kind of mount into these instead of making all tubular right there. I mean, it would look okay, nicer, like right here to here, but I think it'd look kind of weird there to there. I don't know if they make anything like aftermarket wise for these, but if they did, then all you'd have to do is just bolt on the new ones and not have to do some serious fabricating and whatnot. So I think that's going to be the route to go on that part. But holy cow, look at all the room in this thing, guys. It's just crazy how much room there is. Should have done this a long time ago, but I don't think he had any intention of going this far into it when he initially started building the car. So just awesome how much room there is in here. But now we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to put you on a time lapse, and we're going to go ahead and put the intake manifold back on, put the turbo manifold back on, put the turbo back on, radiator, kind of set the radiator in there and the intercooler, and kind of see where it all looks like, and then get a tubing routing and figure out how we're going to do all that until all the tubing does show up, whenever it shows up, and then probably call it a day. So yeah, let's go ahead and put you on time lapse and get all the parts on it and see what she looks like. So, as you guys seen, I got it kind of together in the time lapse, whatnot. So, I did do some changes outside of the time lapse. So, I did put the downpipe on it, kind of set that in place. I did change the radiator in it. I put what I used, I put what I use for a radiator in my Trans Am, and it's a thicker core. It's a Griffin radiator. It's a really good brand, and it works very, very well. And I drove around on it all the time on the highways and whatnot, and I never got hot. But it's a little bit shorter, but it's thicker. So, in my opinion, it looks better. But I'll see what you guys think. I'll show you what I have, like my radiator in there, and then I'll take it out and I will show you what his in there looks like and see what you guys think. Do you think it looks better with mine or with the factory style radiator? But other than that, let's go ahead and show you, and I'll show you what's next to do and what we're waiting on and whatnot. So here it is. Alrighty, so as you can see, it looks freaking sweet. I love it. I hope you guys like it. I hope Sean likes it. There's a ton of room in here now, as you can see. There is a few things that's not sitting straight. Obviously, this is not sitting where it's supposed to be. It's going to be actually moved over that way a little bit more, and this will be V-band right to the intercooler, so there won't be any tubing there at all. It'll be just right to the intercooler, so that'll be nice. Less piping is better. Over here, we'll have to do something here to there. It is quite the radius right there. We're going to do 3.5, but unfortunately, the radius is so tight. Well, I guess we weren't doing 3.5. We were going to do 3.5 and then reduce it to the 3-inch, but I think we're going to have to literally come off of here and immediately reduce to 3-inch and then do some pie cuts or something to get this radius right here, because it is kind of a tight radius. And unfortunately, with it being a tight radius like it is, I don't know if we're going to be able to run the alpha lock like he wants right here. We might have to run like a regular old V-band because of the radius and whatnot. But we'll figure that out down the road as we get to that point. But right now, we really need to worry about getting the tubes and get the chassis all done. But yeah, don't mind this radiator. Just kind of been sitting for a little bit. There's some nasty stuff in there. I blew a head gasket a while back. And there is no more life left in this thing. Maybe a junk car or something. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, everything's all bolted up tight where it's supposed to be. Other than the downpipe is just kind of sitting in there. But it gives you an idea where it's going to be sitting. And then obviously we're going to be running the gate. And then probably run the gate kind of similar, just like this, and just run straight up. But make it a little bit shorter, but also have that bevel to it. And that thing will look sweet. But we'll cross that road when we get to it. But other than that, that's pretty much that's it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and put the other radiator on real quick. I want to take this out before. Yeah. There we go. Take that out and set it somewhere. I'll set it over here. There we go. Oh, and this. We don't want that banging on the ground. Throw it in there. Okay, so let's take this radiator out. So first, before. Oh, that thing's heavy. Set that down. There is the other one. It's a little lighter. Kind of sitting there. And ooh, that's not even close to straight. Let's try to get it a little bit straighter here. I don't think that's where it's supposed to be, but that's definitely not straight either. Okay, you get the point. And there's that. So whatever you guys think, I'll go with, or I don't know. We'll see what Sean thinks actually, and what. Then that's the opinion that really matters, honestly. So yeah, that's probably gonna call it for this one, guys. Unfortunately, I don't have the tubes to finish this front end up, so we're kind of on hold on that part. But we went ahead and chopped it up and put some stuff in there to get an idea, and so I can show you guys what it's going to look like when it's all kind of finished and give you an idea and whatnot. We might go ahead and try to work on the catch can, or maybe start ripping the interior apart and start building a cage for it while we wait for the tubing. But other than that, just gonna have to call it for today, unfortunately, and we'll post this video up probably maybe today if I get motivated enough to do all the editing, which I really don't edit that much. I just kind of throw it on the internet and the old YouTubers thing, you know, put that on there and just kind of wing it. But yep, calling it for today. Hope you guys enjoy it.